Guten Tag, my name is DMAD, and welcome to my first topic video on this channel. Actually, I think it's one of my very first topic videos ever, but if you don't know who I am, my name is DMAD, and I do gaming on this channel, and I'm hoping to expand it more with this topic video and others. And I have another channel, my main channel, DMAD's Biological Departments, where I focus on real zoos, and I'm hoping to bring more topics over those. So, links will be in the description below, and yeah. Anyways, what prompted this video? I found what I think can lead to a second modding renaissance for Planet Zoo. So, a bit of background. About 2 years ago, the modders on Nexus.com broke the code. So prior, if you wanted to download a mod off of Nexus for Planet Zoo, you wanted to get a new species in, you had to download pretty much a retexturing. So say that there weren't tigers in the game, but you had lions, and someone made a tiger mod. We download the tiger mod, and it turns all your lions in the game into tigers. That's just how it worked. Well, about 2 years ago, modders figured it out. They broke the code and were able to insert new species. So that's what we have today. If you download any new species mods, you know how it works. Like, they will insert more species into the game on top of the ones that you already have. So yeah. Also, a link to Nexus mods to the Planet Zoo page will also be in the description below. But anyways, as far as I know, any exhibit mods, now these were all for habitat mods, the big habitats, so like your elephants, lions, hyenas, hoofstock, hippos, all that kind of stuff. But for your exhibit mods, your bugs, your snakes, your frogs, all that kind of stuff, as far as I know, there were only retexturings. So that meant that pretty much everything prior to the new species mod, you wanted a new animal, you download it, it replaces an existing animal. Then fast forward to the Twilight Pack and 1.11, and a new type of exhibit was introduced, walkthrough exhibits. And these gave animals limited animation within this walkthrough exhibit. So that meant exhibits, they were expanded a little bit, alright? Well, recently, we're on 1.16 as of the time of this video, and I believe that modders have done it again. They've broke the code. So, recently, I went on Nexus looking at different animals, and I found that there was a new exhibit mod for the walkthrough exhibits. There was a hammerhead bat, and there were two two-toed sloth mods. But a couple nights ago, even more recently, I found something that prompted this video, essentially. There was a new pack of new species frog mods. Now, why are these important? Because they're in like the regular exhibit habitat, the small one, all right, not the walkthrough. And I believe that this is big for two reasons. Now, the first reason, what is something that you see in a lot of zoos, okay? You're probably thinking giraffe feeding decks, large hoofstock pens, elephants. What I'm thinking of are reptile buildings. If you've been to the Dallas Zoo, they have their herpetarium. The Fort Worth Zoo, they've got their mola. The Sedgwick County Zoo, they've got their reptiles and amphibian building. Topeka Zoo, they've even got their bug building. So with these new species in the exhibits, you can build larger rooms. So if you wanted a large room already, you'd probably be pretty limited. Like, you wouldn't be able to have as many, like, you wanted a dedicated jungle building, or you wanted more kinds of snakes or stuff. So now this is a part where, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but as far as I know, with habitat, new species habitat mods, what modders do is they will use the rig of an animal. So say that you wanted a new big cat, okay? You wanted to make a new big or small cat. You would take the rig, the animation of an existing animal. So just for hypothetical sake, you take the lion animation. So it uses the enrichment, it uses the running and animation of the lion, and then modders will retexture it and reskin it and make it to look like something different, and make it to look like a new species, so they can make a new species in the mod. Well, if I'm correct, then that would also apply for new exhibit mods, since the since the poison dart frogs that I mentioned are all based on the red-eyed tree frog in the base game or the DLC. So, and if that's true, then modders would already have a bunch of pre-established rigs that they can expand on. So, I have a bit of a list, we'll go through it real quick. You take the boa constrictor and the yellow anaconda, there's your boas, or your pythons. So anything from emerald tree boas, reticulated pythons, red tail boas even. You can do all these larger body snakes, okay? Use the diamondback terrapin rig, and it can be used for other smaller water turtles, like say red-eared sliders. You take the blue-tongued skink, it can be used for smaller lizards. Take the 2 iguanas that are already in the game, the green iguana and the lesser Antilles iguana. Those are your long-tailed lizards like water dragons, tegus. You have your longer-tailed lizards. The fire salamander, you can use it for other kinds of salamanders or even smaller, like real small lizards. So like your tiger salamander, stuff like that. The Herman's tortoise you can use for smaller tortoise species or box turtles. And then, the big one, what I think is the biggest game changer, you take the death adder, the puff adder, the rattlesnake, the eastern brown snake, there's your other snakes. You can make new elapids, so basically your cobras, your coral snakes, your taipans. You can make more vipers. I know that there's a lot of different tree and horn vipers. And then the big one, colubrids. Now what are colubrids? Simply put, colubrids are your common snakes. So corn snakes, gopher snakes, house snakes, pine snakes, all sorts of rat snakes. Like you have all these different more skinny bodied common snakes that are mostly non-venomous. Some have rear fang venom, but that's another story. So you have all these different animals and possibly even bugs, like more species of tarantula, more species of scorpion, or if you take the rigs and you model them enough, you can have other kinds of insects in there. Now, there's one more point I want to make. Prior to these new species mods, the only exhibit animal that had interspecies compatibility were butterflies with each other. Well, with the new mods, the two-toed sloths are intercompatible with each other, and the pre-existing three-toed sloth and the frogs are all intercompatible with each other. So, what does this mean? It means that you can have intercompatibility between other animals like different reptiles. So, if there are some kinds of lizards that could live together, I'm not aware of many that are like they live together, but I do know that some zoos, what they'll do is they will keep their green iguanas and they'll have them with tortoises or turtles. I know there's red-footed tortoises that live with green iguanas, Amazon River turtles that live with the iguanas, and you can put tortoises with snakes. I recently went to a zoo that had a black rat snake and a box turtle living together. So you have that unique opportunity. So that's all I've got to say. I'm just throwing all that out there. So what do you think of all this? Does this get you interested in a potential second modding renaissance? Do you have any other ideas? There are other YouTube channels that do a lot better at mods, so I'll link one of them down below, as well as a link to the Nexus and all that. That's where I recommend you get your Planet Zoo mods. So yeah, what do you think? Or are you a modder and you just think everything I just said was nonsense and I have no idea what I'm talking about? That's great. Put it in the comments. I don't know how this coding works, but I'm just a man that comes up with ideas, and I wanted to get my thoughts out. And I don't know. Maybe I inspired some people. Maybe I just entertain people with how dumb I am. Who knows? But leave your comments down below. And if you want, check out the other stuff I have on this channel. There's more to come, and more to come on my main channel, also linked in the description. And share this video out to anyone who likes Planet Zoo mods, or just zoos, video games, and animals in general. I thank you all for watching, and remember, always save your progress, do right by your fellow artists, and inspire and create. For your life is an open world, and you have the controller. Auf Wiedersehen!